What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another live stream, man, on this Thursday night, late Thursday night, man. It's almost 11 o'clock here over in Eastern Standard Time. Glad for you guys to be joining us, as today we'll be previewing the Steelers preseason, not just the Seattle game coming this Sunday, or Saturday, excuse me, but the entire preseason overall, because Steelers football is finally upon us. Pretty much NFL football is back. There was a preseason game today, so thus preseason is here, thus football is back, and now we can officially get back into Steelers football. I'm excited.
I can't wait. I'm pumped.
I'm pumped, man.
Even if it's a preseason game, I don't give a crap.
I don't give a...
It's football.
It is football.
And it's a lot of must-see when it comes to this Pittsburgh Steelers right now.
Absolutely it is.
With everything that we've been hearing from training camp, from Mitch to Mason to Pickens to just about everybody. It's exciting. I can't wait to Saturday. I really can't.
Yeah, me neither, man. There's so much hype coming out of camp that I want to see how much of this hype comes into reality. So, but before we get into the discussion, we have a few channel announcements to make. As you guys may have known, but if you don't, we will be live this Saturday night for the Seattle Seahawks game when the Steelers host Seattle in Heinz Field. Yes, I'm still going to call it Heinz Field. We will be live this Saturday night with our boy, our brother, our Steeler fam, Cold Steel. He'll be co-hosting it, which should be very entertaining, should be very exciting. But we will be live pretty much the entire preseason, and the plan is every single game for the Steelers this upcoming season. But that all starts this Saturday night when we go live for the Seattle game. And speaking of live streams, speaking of watch parties, man, whatever you want to call it, not only will we be live streaming the Steelers games this year, we will be live streaming some of the AFC North teams games, because thanks to you guys in the community post where we put up a poll where we asked, would you guys be open to seeing us do live streams regarding the AFC North teams and their games? The majority of you said yes, and we are proud to announce the AFC North War Room, where we will be pretty much live streaming AFC North teams' games when scheduling is fitting. Week 1, we will not be able to do so because every single one of the AFC North teams' games is around the same time slot. So whenever it is comfortable, whenever it is fittingly available schedule-wise, the plan is to stream an AFC North teams' game, and that starts week 2 of the NFL preseason with the Eagles at the Browns, which should be very interesting because we don't know what the Brown situation is, especially at the quarterback position. So we'll be able to scout some of the Browns team a little bit. So not just Steelers games we're going to be doing. This year we're going to do something a little different, a little more live content regarding NFL games, and that's going to circular around the AFC North to keep it within the Steelers realm, because the AFC North is one hell of a division. And
it's definitely a must-see type of division this upcoming season.
Absolutely it is. One more final announcement, guys, before we get into tonight's discussion. We are proud to announce memberships are live. We have memberships. You guys are available to join now. You guys should be able to see the join button right beside the channel name. You guys can now officially be a member of the SteelTwins Nation, a.k.a. the STN. We put up a community post poll as well where we asked you guys, what do you want the membership name to be? You guys voted for SteelTwins Nation, and here it is, the STN. Now, there are 2 options to join the STN. There is a $1.99 option where you get the channel badge here, the STN badge. You get chat emotes, and you also get access to monthly live Q&As for members only. There's also another option for $4.99 where you get the same thing I just mentioned for regular STN members, but for STN Plus members, you get all that plus an invite link to the Discord. So all those people that asked us, how do I join the Discord? There you go. As well as early access to videos, which should be very interesting and very entertaining for you guys, because I see a lot of you guys saying, man, you know, when's the video coming out? When's the preview? You guys can get early access to that via STN Plus. But that is for $4.99, or if you just want to be a regular STN member, to get, like I said, chat emotes and stuff like that, which one of them is, of course, the classic, the infamous, run the ball! Because, I mean, we just had to make it one.
The classic run the ball. I mean, it's a very infamous type of thing when it comes to this channel. I mean, when it comes to the Steelers, especially this upcoming season, if they don't run the ball, you can damn well bet I'm going to be shouting at the top of my lungs for the Steelers to run that ball.
Yeah. And if you guys have a moment in the Steelers game where you want to say run the ball, you can very well put that emoji in the chat.
Whether or even in the comment section.
Yeah, whether that's a live stream or a comment section, man. So memberships are live. You are available to join now by hitting that join button. And any guys that join within the next couple of days is very much appreciated. And we're glad to have this finally here after months and honestly years of discussing and thinking about it. And we're finally going to do it now. So you guys are able to join. And if you do, thanks so much. And we can't wait to get you guys on the STM, man. So, SteelTwins Nation. If you guys are joining, welcome to the SteelTwins Nation. But enough of the announcements. I know you guys are probably tired of all that. Let's get into the discussion. Mitch Trubisky is going to start versus Seattle, which to me personally comes as no surprise.
Nor should it to anybody.
I mean, I kind of expected this when we actually signed him. I mean, just because we signed Mitch, it didn't take away the option of drafting a quarterback, which we did in Kenny Pickett. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think we would rush a quarterback because that's not what the Steelers do, especially when it comes to rookies, especially when it comes to breeding the next era, the next franchise. They don't want to rush that. You already see all the other AFC teams and they're stacked at quarterback. So with this, they're not going to rush the guy just because they have to.
Exactly.
And this entire team is young, so there's no point in rushing. So Mitch is going to be the starter who will be the gap filler for now.
And that's perfectly fine. You know, that's his position as of right now. Depending on how he does on the field, maybe he's more than that. We'll just have to wait and see, considering he did sit out for a year.
Right.
Under the Buffalo Bills offense and Brian DeBull, who was the offensive coordinator at the time.
Right.
So we could see a few glimpses here and there. Mitch has looked decent at times in training camp. He's looked a little off at times in training camp. It's going to be interesting to see what he does in a Steelers uniform.
Right. It appears to me that every single quarterback has had their ups and downs all camp, and they've gotten better throughout days of practice as the days and weeks went on.
As they get more comfortable.
Now, of course, whatever we hear from camp, let's see if that transitions to the football field. That's why I'm going to hold off certain hype about camp until it transitions onto the actual football field. If it does that, then there you go. That's what Sunday's for. Mitch is going to start, and he'll be followed by Mason Rudolph, who will then be followed by Kenny Pickett in that order. And I don't expect that to change throughout preseason.
No.
What I do expect to change is the amount of time these three quarterbacks are going to play, which that could be what I heard from Tomlin from what it sounded like in his press conference earlier. It seems like the first stringers, the first team is going to play the first quarter, and the second team is going to play the second and third quarter, and then the third team is going to play the fourth quarter. So we might not be able to see Kenny Pickett. We might not see Pickettsburg till the fourth quarter.
But you know what? That's perfectly fine by me.
Because they're not rushing him.
No, and there's no need to rush the guy.
And I've already heard people saying, why do we draft a quarterback then? It seemed like a waste. It is not a waste. Again, they don't rush quarterback. They don't even want to rush Ben.
No, and I'm sure, I am pretty sure that they did the same thing with Ben Roethlisberger.
They did. He was the third stringer.
Bill Cowher did not want him to play in his rookie season.
He stated this in his book, Heart and Soul, right?
Yes, he did.
Heart and Steel, excuse me.
He didn't want to rush him. He had no choice but to play him because Maddox got hurt and Batch got hurt. And then Ben was forced to get in.
And then we all know what happened. Could this be, could lightning strike twice in the same area? I don't know. But with Pickett being the third guy and him possibly not seeing time until the fourth quarter, in what I'm assuming, then so be it. I mean, it's a good way to get his feet wet. But again, these times, whether that is versus Seattle or throughout preseason, each time for each quarterback is going to be flexible based on, performance and wherever they're at on the field and how much time these guys see within that quarter or that half. So I think we can anticipate Mitch to start, followed by Mason, followed by Kenny throughout the entire preseason. However much time each guy gets, that has yet to be determined.
But however much time they get, though, they're definitely going to have to make the most of it.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely they are. Absolutely. Which I'm excited for. Here we go, show. What's good, man? He says, what's up, gentlemen?
Yo, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
How you doing, Devin? How you doing, bro? Shout out to everyone in the chat, by the way. So Mitch is going to start, which again comes as no shock to me, and I'm cool with it because I'm excited to see what this guy's going to do in his first bit of action in almost a whole year.
And not just Mitch, Mason as well, considering he's been the most consistent compared to Mitch and Kenny. He's been the most consistent in training camp. Now we're going to have to see.
He's thrown 0 picks in camp.
Yes, he has.
The only Steelers quarterback to do that
So it's going to be interesting to see how everything that he's done in camp, him being the most consistent compared to the other two, on how much that's going to transition and how much, if he's going to be able to keep his roster spot or if the Steelers are going to use this opportunity to potentially trade him, because I'm still hearing about that option, to which I know you're going to say, I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it, and all those hearings, I don't agree unless you get a really good offer. But I just don't see that happening because, again, they're not going to rush Pickett. Now, based on performance, that could change. But as of now, I think as we see it via preseason, is going to follow into the regular season in terms of depth chart. Mitch, then Mason, then Kenny.
Yes.
Which again, a lot of us has been stating for a while now, and me personally, I am fine with it.
Yeah, of course. Again, with Pickett, there's no need to rush him. I remember when the Chiefs drafted Patrick Mahomes when they still had Alex Highsmith.
Alex Smith.
Wow, Jesus Christ. My bad, Alex Smith, Jesus Christ.
I didn't realize how close that was. Wow, that just blew my mind.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. When the Chiefs drafted Patrick Mahomes when they still had Alex Smith.
Right.
And last year when the Niners drafted Trey Lance when they still had Jimmy Garoppolo,
Yep.
they didn't rush those guys.
It's the same thing.
They were the next heir to their franchise. Trey Lance, that's still yet to be seen.
Keep in mind,
Patrick Mahomes, we know
those
what
two
he's up
teams
to.
traded up for them.
Yes, they did. We didn't have to. Kenny Pickett fell into our laps.
Fell right into our laps. So
Now, if Pickett turns into one of those guys, I mean, that'd be fantastic. We don't know that yet. But
That's
considering that those teams traded up for those guys
Yep.
and didn't even play them in their first year, then why should we?
right, but there's also no rush to assume that this is already a wasted pick when it's not.
It's not.
And I'm excited to see what Pickett can do, even though it'll probably most likely with the second/third stringers, depending on whoever Tomlin plays for how long. Pickett could see very small time with the second stringers, or he could just see all the time with the third stringers. Which, I mean, if that's the case, I'm not going to expect too much because certain quarterbacks can only do so much with how much they have around them.
Exactly.
So, hopefully, throughout preseason, though, I do want to see Pickett mix it up with the first stringers a little bit and mostly the second stringers, just to get him even more warmed up, get him comfortable, get his feet wet a little bit. Don't just toss him in with the third stringers completely throughout all preseason. I get that's a way to get his feet wet, but I don't think that's a good way to do it. Mix him in with a few other guys to get the chemistry going and get him in comfortably.
Of course.
And the same thing could be with every single quarterback this preseason.
Yeah, because the quarterback battle, it's still wide open. But I would have to imagine that just like this upcoming Seattle game, for the next two preseason games after Seattle, it's going to be the same thing. Mitch, then Mason, then Kenny. And however much time they have, they're definitely going to have to make the most of it and see where they are placed on the depth chart officially when it comes to the regular season.
I'm excited for this to see what this quarterback room can do in preseason.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm rooting for everybody. I'm rooting for everyone to show some promise, to show great improvement. So I'm excited to see what the quarterback room can do overall, especially Mitch with the first team. And someone made a great comment. He said, where's it at? I lost it. He said, you think we see full first team? I do think we do see full first team. Tomlin hasn't exactly rolled out anybody yet for the Seattle game. I feel like if he was going to rule someone out, he would have said someone already. Like Najee's not going to play, or Minka's not going to play,
or Claypool's not going to play,
or Watt's not going to play.
And I know some of the guys are kind of dealing with like minor injuries right now. I think Tomlin's going to let them sit for a bit and let the injuries heal and see how they are for the first preseason game. See if they are ready. If they are, I think he'll throw them in for a little bit.
Now, what I do think is going to happen is I think certain starters on the defense are going to not play. Guys like Watt, maybe Minka could be out. Guys like guys of great Cam Hayward, guys like that, right? The offense, however, I do see the entire first team offense playing. The entire offensive line, even Najee. I think we're gonna definitely see all of the first team offense, at least for the first quarter in the Seattle game.
Yeah, or even for some certain guys, it may just be the first drive.
Right. I don't know.
Just getting some of the offseason rust off, just to get them going, just
get
them into rhythm.
And this is just for the Seattle game. Things could change. Things could not change when it comes to the remaining preseason.
Right.
So, I mean, we'll see what they do for the first Seattle game and how much time we get to see these guys mix it up together.
And I think after the Seattle game, we'll probably have more of a heads up of what they could do for the next two preseason games.
Absolutely. Here We Go Show says, doing well, thanks. Watching Malik Willis was fun tonight. We weren't able to catch it because we were stuck at work. How did Malik Willis do tonight? I didn't even catch his highlights.
I saw one highlight on Twitter not too long ago. It was him scrambling, evading pressure from the Ravens. And he actually got a 7-yard rushing touchdown out of it.
Yeah?
Yeah. And it was pretty impressive. It's what Malik Willis did back at Liberty. It's one of the reasons why we fell in love with him, when he was getting the hype during the NFL draft.
Yeah.
So, when it came, that's the only player I saw, but it still looked pretty stellar from Malik Willis.
Right. Hell, Steelers Nation 412 said Willis was putting backups on ice. That don't surprise me. I mean, Malik, that's one of his best attributes. Is just the ability to escape pressure or just extend plays. That's why a lot of us fell in love with Malik. And
it's something that you need in a quarterback nowadays.
Obviously. Which is another reason why I'm excited for this quarterback room, is that every single one of these guys are mobile.
Yeah. Even Mason.
There's some variety.
Even Mason. He can even run the ball.
This is, compared to what we've seen the past number of years with Ben. And believe me, I love Ben to death. That's my quarterback, believe me. I'm going to cry when he goes into Canton in 5 years, right?
Yes, 5 years.
But his immobility certainly handcuffed this offense. Let's not sugarcoat it. Ben, and this is mostly due to his age, obviously. It hurt the offense because we were so limited. Now seeing what these young quarterbacks are going to be able to do, since they're young, they have better arm, they're mobile, they can extend plays. I'm excited to see what this quarterback room overall in every single aspect can do for this offense and how more open the offense is going to be.
Right.
Especially with guys like George fucking Pickens. I just cursed and swear jar.
Yes, we have a swear jar for this upcoming season.
Shout out to Cold Steel for the recommendation. Yeah, we got it.
But yeah, George Pickens, he's been the star of the show every day throughout training camp since it started. Every day he makes a new play. And he still stuns people.
I don't think I need to ask you guys this question because I already know the answer, but I'm going to, because how do you guys think George Pickens is going to do in his first game? You know what I heard? I heard Artie Burns might be starting versus Seattle.
Artie Burns.
So
are they that desperate?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if that's the case, but I know damn well we're going to be playing against Artie Burns this Sunday. I doubt he's going to be an inactive because is he a starter? He's at least a backup. So we're going to
he's going to have to prove himself, because I remember after we got rid of him, he signed with Chicago, but he tore his ACL and he never really had a chance in Chicago. So This is really his comeback here for Seattle. So I have to assume if he's healthy, he's going to be playing.
But let me tell you, I want to see Pickens versus Burns. I think that'd be a fun watch. That would be a fun watch. That really would be. I think that'd be very entertaining.
I cannot wait for George Pickens regardless.
Dude, I mean, I just said that certain things from camp, I want to hold off the hype till we see if it transitions on the field. But receiver is one of those positions that's an exception to that statement.
Yeah.
Because George Pickens is, like everyone's been stating, he's got that dog in him. I mean, he's a Georgia Bulldog himself, so it's only fitting he has that dog in him. That D-O-double-G in him. George Pickens, man.
He's going to bring prestige. I'm confident in saying this. I really am. He's going to bring prestige back to number 14.
I'm smiling because I'm already thinking of what this guy's going to do in the black and gold. Even if it's not an amazing, crazy highlight versus Seattle, just long term. This guy's locked up for 4 years.
Yes, he is.
Hell, most of this receiving core is locked up for 4 years. Think about that.
It's crazy.
The video we just uploaded earlier where we talked about the Steelers wide receiver core, I mean, George Pickens is just another guy on that stacked just depth chart where these guys are going to be together for how long?
Yeah, dude, the main four, Deontay, Claypool, Pickens, Austin.
That's another guy I'm excited to see is Calvin Austin, man.
All of them together are here for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And maybe longer depending on how they all perform. Especially with Claypool going to the slot. Deontay getting better as he gets older. Pickens stunning everybody at training camp. Austin turn on the freaking Jets all the time.
I'm excited.
Wide receiver is definitely one of the positions I cannot wait to see throughout preseason and regular season.
Right.
And despite who the quarterback is, whether it's Mitch, Mason, or Kenny, I'm still excited.
Right.
And I'm confident that the quarterback's going to get the receivers the ball.
Right.
I'm very confident in it.
Young boy and Steeler Lee says, I don't think Najee, DJ, and Muth are playing. Steeler Lee says he's way too valuable. I agree. I just think they might play Najee to get him a little more comfortable behind this O-line to see what they can work with. I would sit Najee, though. But let me ask you a question. Who's going to be the running back?
Probably the more experienced guys, specifically Benny Snell and maybe Anthony McFarland.
The only reason why I asked that question is because this is another guy that's getting a lot of hype coming out at camp, and he's made a lot of big plays, and he very well could be in the running for running back too, and I hope he takes it because I'm not confident in the guys we have now, and I want to see an up and rising undrafted story once again for the depth chart, and that is Jaylen Warren.
And it's crazy because he's actually the cousin of former Steeler
Willie Parker,
who had a similar, road path.
Where he was undrafted
and then he stunned everybody in training camp preseason, got a roster spot, and eventually took over when Bettis hung it up.
Yep.
Now, I highly doubt Warren's going to have that type of, accomplishment, but even as a running back, too, to help aid Najee, I think even then that's great.
Right.
I think that'd be fantastic. And Warren's been stunning a lot of people at training camp.
I'm so curious to see what this guy can do, man.
He's been... he's a speedster. He's been trucking people. He's been juking people.
I heard he's incredibly hard to take down. Like, it's taken him 4 or 5 defenders to take him down.
Yeah, and his hands.
He's not easy to go down.
His hands as well apparently aren't too bad either.
Yeah. I'm hearing, he's a guy that doesn't go down at first contact, which kind of reminds me of how great Najee is. He creates his own yards. He can't go down at first contact. He's just fighting for extra yards, man.
Yeah.
It's like a pit bull behind that line.
This is a guy that wants to prove himself because he did that at the college level because I believe he was originally with Utah, and then he was transferred to Oklahoma State, and in his lone season, he blasted, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
He had a great season.
And Tomlin...
He blasted onto the scene.
He did, and Tomlin even made an interesting statement or opinion that he said, I actually like the running back depth that we have behind Najee. That's an interesting quote because, I don't know what else Tomlin was supposed to say at that point. But, if he likes it, then he's seeing something that we aren't. Or at least not yet. We could see that this Saturday.
We could. We really could.
Could that be with a guy like Jaylen Warren? Could Benny Snell improve? Could Anthony McFarland improve? Running back, too, is a position we've been thriving to really improve and have been wanting the Steelers to improve because, God forbid, knock on wood, anything happens to Najee or just to split reps with Najee. I'm not comfortable giving this guy the ball 400 times a year.
No.
Say it for how many months now? A running back, too, is incredibly important for this offense. So I'm hoping someone steps up to the plate. I really am.
And that could be Jaylen Warren.
Right.
But even then, the Steelers are still bringing free agent running backs in. Recently they brought in what's his name? Former Giant and Falcon. What's his name? Wayne Gallman.
Right.
They brought in Wayne Gallman and I think the former Raider Jalen Richard. So they're bringing in guys for workouts,
right,
for tryouts. So they're definitely looking to potentially add a running back, but I think Tomlin wants to see what guys or people like Warren and see if Snell can get better or McFarland can showcase.
And, of course, this is not just the Seattle game. This is throughout preseason altogether.
Exactly.
And I think, of course, one of the main important things that we definitely want to see for sure, because it's still a question mark, even though we have new faces, is the offensive line.
Yeah, I actually got the list of names right here. Obviously, the starters, projectedly,
from left to right,
is Dan Moore, Kevin Dotson, who I'm anticipating keeps the left guard spot, Mason Cole, James Daniels, who I love the addition of, I really do, and obviously Chuck Okorafor at right tackle.
Left guard is still a battle, though.
It is a battle.
They have been literally down the middle, splitting even reps between Kevin Dotson and Kendrick Green. Kendrick Green now going back to left guard, which we all know is his best spot. How much does that improve him? How much has he improved from his first year?
I don't know. This is what preseason is for, obviously, to showcase how much better he is as a guard than he was at center last year. Because last year he was awful.
Yeah, we all know.
The thing was, he's not a natural center. Well, and he never was.
The reason why I bring that up more so than Dotson is because Dotson, I keep hearing, is dealing with more injuries.
And that's what's been holding Dotson back, because I still believe he has that Pro Bowl potential.
Yeah.
You and me both. but he keeps getting hurt.
Yeah, that's the concern.
He can't stay healthy, and it's unfortunate.
So if he can't, someone's got to step it up, and that guy's going to be third-round guy last year in Kendrick Green. So I'm hoping Dotson is healthy enough to, obviously stay on the line, and him in his second full year at left guard, hopefully he's improved, he's more comfortable. But I want to see what Kendrick Green can do, because that's still a battle. No one's running away with it right now.
No.
So that's still a battle. I'm looking forward to see what these guys are capable of and what they've done to improve in their second and third years respectively, because the O-line is still a concern.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
As until we see improvement, it's still an unknown. Before we get into the defense, let's get into the chat a little bit. You guys ready to watch Steelers football? I'm so excited, says Jacob Frederick.
Hell yeah, bro.
You know it.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited.
Saturday
man.
Can't get here soon enough. I know it's like 48 some odd or 40 hours or less some odd away, but
we are.
I want Steelers football back.
Let me get my math right. We are 44 hours away.
44 hours away to be exact. Needs a hurry.
Dante and College says, dude, I think George Pickens might go off this season, to be honest. I was able to make it down for one day at training camp. This guy had so much open space he was able to create. That's great to hear. That's incredible to hear. I was hoping to see that in person, both of us. But the Friday Night Lights ordeal was a debacle.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Still upset about that. And I feel sorry for the people that traveled even farther and longer and spent more and spent all day there.
Literally.
And got zero practice or zero explanation or zero compensation.
Literally nothing.
Pretty fucked up, man. Pretty fucked up. Let's see. Chris Taylor says Mason Rudolph equals Landry Jones 2.0. Not even close. Not even close.
Bro,
Landry Jones was garbage.
Dude, Mason Rudolph is better than Landry Jones.
He's much better than Landry Jones.
Landry Jones was so bad, dude. I could not stand him being our backup quarterback. I do not mind Rudolph being our backup. I'm confident in Rudolph being our backup, and I'm being serious.
Right.
Like, Rudolph ain't that bad. Come on.
Let's see. Dante and Kyler say, I still don't know what to think of Johnson. He's not good when you need him to be good. Hopefully that changes. We'll see. Yeah, I've noticed that with Johnson as well. Like, I still like Johnson. I'm impressed with what he did last year under the quarterback he had and, an aging quarterback at that. But, the drops are still a concern. We all know how great of a route runner he is. But the one issue I haven't seen with Johnson yet, and that could be this year because he's getting better each year. Mm-hmm. It's one thing we can all agree with Johnson for is he's getting better year by year. I don't see that impactful receiver in him. Not like a A.J. Brown or a Terry McLaurin or a Jamar Chase or a Justin Jefferson. I don't see that in him. That could be this year. Maybe all he needed was a change of quarterback to burst onto the scene.
This could very well be the year where he finally has that impact feature in him.
Right.
That finally unleashes. To which I'm hopeful that Johnson does reach that point.
Of course. But if he doesn't, then, we still get him at a very great price to Omar Khan.
Yes.
For the next 3 years. And we can renegotiate depending on what he does in the next couple years. Or if not, and if George Pickens lives up to the incredible hype he has now, pretty easy to part ways with Johnson and just lean on Pickens. I'm going to throw that out there. That's 3-4 years down the line, but
yes.
I'm going to throw it out there right now. If George Pickens lives up to the hype and the potential that he is showing in camp, and we can just let Johnson go after these 3 years and lean on Pickens, I'm fine with that. But that's 3-4 years down the road. But I'm just going to throw it out there. Did you guys see Malik Willis? I did not. I'd have to go back and see the highlights. Let's see. Where we at? Favorite for Offensive Rookie of the Year before season? I'm going to throw it out there. George Pickens. I don't see a quarterback winning it. I could see a running back, but it depends who steps up. Breece Hall maybe is probably the front runner for that, right?
When it comes to running backs, to me, yeah.
But I think it's going to be a receiver because it's so stacked. And I think if you had to ask me who are the top two favorites to win that, I'm going to go Chris Olave or George Pickens.
Hell, you can't even forget about guys like Drake London and the new Titans receiver. Who did they draft after they traded away A.J. Brown?
Oh, I forget.
I know he was a Steeler. He's from Traylon Burks.
Traylon Burks, yeah.
Traylon Burks, who I'm a big fan of.
I can see Jameson Williams making a run for it.
It could be Christian Watson of Green Bay.
I think certain, I don't know. It depends who burst onto the scene the most. But with Pickett's hype, he's definitely a front runner right now. How long before we extend Najee? That's not going to be until at least his 5th-year option.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah.
More than likely.
Let's see. Any way to stream the Steelers Saturday? It should be on NFL Network, right?
As far as I am concerned, I believe it's being broadcasted via NFL Network.
Should be on NFL Network.
Yeah.
I don't see Jake Dixon making the Steelers 53-man roster. I don't either. He could be a great practice squad piece, a good development.
Potentially.
That's another interesting part of this preseason is, who can swoop up a roster spot for a depth position from underneath certain talent.
That's the thing. Like there's a lot of notable backups that are definitely going to be fighting for a spot. Guys like Mason Rudolph, obviously, who showcased,
personally,
more consistency in training camp.
Personally, if you ask me, Mason Rudolph is already a lock. Because let me ask you, who do you replace him with?
Yeah.
Chris Oladukin? Maybe, but I have heard zero from him in camp. The way I see it, they drafted him just to be a 4th quarterback because they needed a 4th quarterback. They didn't have to draft one. Even when they drafted him, I thought, what's the rush? You could grab someone for a 4th spot for a 4th stringer later. But I guess they wanted to secure someone that, in my opinion, as of this year, is going to be a practice squad guy that's going to model mobile guys.
Right. For the most part.
So, but continue.
But yeah, Mason Rudolph is one of the names. For the wide receiver, there's 2 guys to me that stick out: is Miles Boykin and Anthony Miller.
Yep.
Who showcased, some flashes here in training camp, especially Miles Boykin, to which I see him as nothing more as a, when I think about, like back in the day of, when we had AB and Martavis and Marcus Wheaton and Juju.
Right.
I remember Darius Howard-Bay as our depth piece because of his size and speed and everything. That's kind of what Miles Boykin kind of reminds me of.
Right. But I've heard he's done very well in camp the last week or so. So I'm not going to turn a blind eye to Boykin to make a roster.
Well, neither am I.
Right. And that's mostly due to his special teams ability. But I don't want to count out Gunnar Olszewski.
No, you shouldn't.
He's not that much of a viable receiving threat, but I do think as a returner, I think he's one of the better ones in the game. But could Anthony Miller swoop that from under him?
Yeah,
receiver's going to be in terms of depth and who they keep, because I think they keep 6 guys this year. They kept only 5 last year, but they might keep 6 this year.
Right.
Who can take that spot? Between Anthony Miller, Miles Boykin, and Gunnar Olszewski.
Yes, it is.
Very interested to see what those guys can do, because those are the guys that's most likely going to work with guys like Rudolph and Pickett.
Right.
So, overall, as a collective team, a collective effort, there's so much to look out for.
Mm-hmm. Another guy I want to mention here is, specifically for inside linebackers, is Robert Spillane, who apparently he's, right behind Devin Bush when it comes to potentially being the starter.
Yeah.
Opposite of Miles Jack. He could potentially
beat out Devin Bush.
He could take Bush's spot and be the number 2. Oh, I just hit the camera. My bad. Spillane, when he stepped in, he's shown flashes. When Bush went down with the ACL tear.
Right.
Spillane stepped in. He came up big in that Ravens game when he got Lamar Jackson for a pick 6. He's a very solid tackler. He's a very good run stuffer. His coverage ability, though, is not too good.
He's very limited. And if he beats out Devin Bush, that says more about Devin Bush than it does Robert Spillane.
Yeah.
Which is a very bad thing. Very bad thing. And before you guys ask, I would be so open to trading for Roquan Smith, but I doubt it's going to happen. Why? Because we already have the highest paid defense in the league.
Exactly. But
so why would we put that money towards, Roquan Smith when we have the money? But I think there's so much investment in defense already. Right. I know the Steelers can afford it, but then that begs the question: what do you trade? Who do you trade?
But that's the thing, because now that you mention, the more I think about it, next year I think more than likely they're going to be letting Devin Bush walk. and they're going to be looking to fill in the inside linebacker spot again, unless Buddy Matthews, who was a 4th-round rookie last year, steps up to the plate and showcases, some of that potential he had at Texas A&M. That's another name to watch out for.
Very athletic is he. So
yes, he is, and speedy as well.
I hope, and Ulysses Gilbert was just cut. So I'm hoping Buddy Johnson sees a lot of time this preseason. I want to see what he can do in the second year.
Yeah. But considering that I think that they could let Bush walk, they're going to fill in the inside linebacker spot. They could do that with Roquan Smith and give him a small extension.
One thing I have, based on early impressions with Omar Khan, is always keep your eyes open. Because let me tell you, 3 months ago, we were looking at, who should the Steelers franchise tag? Minka, Boz, Deontay? We ain't got to worry about that. They're all signed.
Yeah, they're all locked down for several years.
So
who's to say that he doesn't go out his way? Maybe see how Devin Bush does in preseason.
Right.
Or maybe Bush does solid, but they still are looking to replace him. Maybe they do that by giving the Bears Devin Bush and maybe a few picks here and there for Roquan Smith.
Or better yet,
take his fifth-year option contract, and then maybe extend him to a small 2-3 year deal next season.
I don't know, maybe.
Because, I'm saying Roquan Smith and my
of course. Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, my, gimme now.
That would be lovely.
Lord almighty, I'm about to,
That would be great. That would be great. Do the Steelers do that? I don't know. I don't know
either.
But something tells me that they're going to want to see what Devin Bush does.
Of course.
Because he still has that potential.
Now, according to reports with Spillane giving Bush a run for his money, I still think there is some hope for Bush. I would hope so. Otherwise, he's going to be in the same category as Artie Burns or Jarvis Jones.
And you don't want to be in those categories, let me tell you.
No, not at all. Not at all. If that does come to a point, though, where they make a trade for a linebacker because they're not satisfied with depth or they just have no other option opposite of Jack, then Roquan Smith could be the guy. And at that point, what do you trade? Well, you would have to trade Bush, and then you have to trade a receiver because the Bears have 0 receivers.
Outside of Darnell Mooney, but that's it. They have one target.
One fucking target. And you guys know who that guy would have to be traded. I've seen it on Twitter, and let me tell you, I don't hate it. And we're already stacked at receiver.
Yeah, we are.
So I don't hate it. But again, I don't see it happening. Would I love it? Absolutely. Do I count it out? No. But me personally, I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I think the Steelers are fine with what they got. I think they're going to want to see what Devin Bush does beside Miles Jack and still being learned under
Ryan Flores, yeah.
Yeah. So, and Spillane giving Bush a run for his money, what does that say about Devin Bush? We're just going to have to wait and see for preseason.
Yep.
I do.
Again,
I think
not everything from camp transitions to preseason.
Of course.
So.
And even if Bush remains a starter, I have to believe that Spillane's going to be the primary backup. And like I said, Buddy Johnson, I feel like is a name to definitely keep an eye on for sure.
Agreed.
When it comes to inside linebacker. Now, defensive line. We know how stacked defensive line is. Like, Jesus freaking Christ. You got Cam Hayward, Tyson Alualu, Chris Wormley. Was that a cuss word? I guess it is now.
You swore in the name of Jesus.
I apologize. Cam Hayward, Tyson Alualu, Chris Wormley. You got Larry Ogunjobi. And you got Montravius Adams. You got DeMarvin Leal, who's a rookie, another guy to keep an eye on.
See, now that we're...
And you got Isaiah Loudermilk, who's being developed. You got 7 key defensive linemen.
And I'm not letting either of them go.
But the thing is, and it's a tradition for the Steelers, they usually keep 6.
You can make an exception. If you have to, you keep 5 receivers again, keep more D linemen. Because one of the problems with the team last year that led to the downfall was the run defense.
Yes, it was.
It was horrific, which, of course, is another thing we obviously hope improves, and that will be determined via the preseason, is how improved is this run defense? It was atrocious in that second half of the year. God almighty, was it bad.
Couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Oh,
couldn't stop a darn thing.
It's nauseous just thinking about it.
Like, Jesus Christ, what Dalvin Cook did and Joe Mixon did.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Jesus.
AC Harsh says, don't forget about the Davis twins. You're right.
Yeah, cannot forget about the Davis twins.
Carlos and Khalil, you're right. So the D-line stacked.
That's 9 guys right there if you count the Davis twins. Like, holy jeez.
Who could just be practice squad guys?
Which, I mean, hey, that's fine.
That's perfectly
fine.
Perfectly
you
fine.
Want to keep the Davis Twins? That's perfectly fine. They still got a small bit of upside on their part.
But I'm keeping as many D linemen as I possibly can.
Especially with how Montravius Adams did when he came in as a practice squad signee from the Saints. You know, he came in
and was one of our best interior guys last year.
Yeah,
he
did very good.
So when I think of all that, what I'm most excited for when it comes to that core of line is, of course, Ogunjobi. I want to see what he can do in the black and gold.
And see how healthy he is, too.
Yep,
because he's been starting to, fully practice in camp now.
Yep.
Which is great to see. And me and Dan both feel that Ogunjobi is a severely underrated defensive lineman.
I want to see what this defense, this D-line, this front seven overall can do. I want to see what Miles Jack can do. Getting back on the linebacker, I want to see what Miles Jack can do.
Yes.
I'm hearing he's everywhere in camp. Let's see what this guy can do, man. Because the linebacker situation since Shazier, we all know what happened.
Yes.
Has been it's been a roller coaster ride. More so bad than good.
More so bad than good. Like I could go down the list of names we had to fill in.
Now that we already have the best inside linebacker we've had since Shazier, I want to see what this guy can do in black and gold.
Yeah.
I want to see what 51 can do in the middle of that field again.
Yeah. Concerning that 51 was literally being tossed around like a hot potato since James Ferrier retired, I want 51 to be brought back to prestige again.
Yep.
Because I remember Ferrier, bro. Like, he was not to be messed with.
No.
And he wore 51 to perfection. I believe that Miles Jack will do that as well.
And to conclude this defensive talk, I suppose we got to talk about the secondary a little bit because what I'm most anticipated to watch is not really the new guys we brought in, like Levi Wallace, right, or the fact we brought back Killer Witherspoon back, or Sutton being moved down to the slot. I want to see what they're going to do with DeMonte Casey, Trey Norwood, Carl Joseph. How are they going to mix those guys in? Because certain guys, if you look at how much depth we have on the defense, certain guys could be on the chopping block. So what are they going to do with these specific names? How are they going to use them? How much time are they going to see who can step up to the plate? I can see DeMonte Casey being a lock. Carl Joseph could be a practice squad guy as of now. I think Norwood could be moved down back to a cornerback for depth value.
Right, potentially.
But obviously see time as a dime guy. But how are they going to mix those guys up? There's so much value there.
So much value and versatility at the same time.
That's what I'm saying. So, how are they going to mix all those names up?
I really don't know. I really don't know what they do, but you know how Tomlin loves his Swiss Army knife defensive backs.
Yep.
He finds a way to use them. He finds a way to keep them on the team. Maybe he keeps all three. I don't know.
I'd hope so. I want to see how he mixes them up, or what strategies he's have for the defense and the defensive scheme.
It's crazy that we talk about how stacked the defense is, not with just the main starters, but the depth as well with the defensive line and secondary. Would you think that Mike Tomlin would stack the defense more than the offense, like when it comes to the final 53-man roster?
Of course.
Because, you got to have a defense.
I'm keeping as many defensive linemen as I can. I'm keeping as many secondary guys as I can.
That's what I would imagine that Mike Tomlin would do. And with the offense, they're still young, they're still growing, they're still learning. There's no rush for the offense. And when it comes to the defense, you got to stack as many guys as you can.
Right.
The only position that is not stacked with depth is edge, which that kind of worries me.
That is a worry. But the way I see it, I see at least 4 edge guys. I see at least 4 linebackers, that being Jack, Bush, Spillane, and maybe Marcus Allen. Or Buddy Johnson. They could keep 5 linebackers. They could keep both Johnson and Allen. But if they want to really stack the defensive line and secondary, they might only have to sacrifice by keeping 4 inside guys.
Right.
And then you can keep maybe 7 defensive linemen. And perhaps, let me get my math right here. God, maybe 9 or 10 DBs.
Jesus Christ. Hey, if it stacks up the defense, though, to help aid the offense.
That's what you're leaning on.
That's what you're going to have to do. With the offense still growing and learning, to which we're all going to have to be patient with.
Yeah.
You need to stack that defense. You got to rely on that defense. We've relied on the defense for several years.
Right.
And we still need to.
But we can trust the defense.
Yes, we can.
The amount of guys that they keep on the defense is going to be intriguing to me. And then the main part of that in preseason is going to be who they mix in the D-line, who they mix in for the secondary, how they mix them in. That's what I'm going to watch mostly when it comes to this defense, is certain names, but how they mix all these guys in, because there's so much depth on the D-line and on the secondary.
Yeah.
So how are they going to mix all these guys in and be able to keep most of these guys? That's what I'm mostly watching for with this defense. This offense, it's going to be a fun watch to watch these guys grow all together, because most of these guys are still on rookie contracts. Guys on the line.
Yeah.
Guys, the Najee. Most of our quarterbacks.
Pat Fryermuth.
Most of our receivers. They're all going to grow together, and that starts this Saturday. So that's what I'm looking forward to when it comes to the offense side of the ball, is how can these guys grow together, because most of these guys are going to be around for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how the chemistry is already going for this Saturday. So, and that all starts with Mitch, again, starting what I'm going to assume, according to what Tomlin and how he said it, is going to be the first quarter. Now, how much time we see Mitch in the first quarter depends on how many times the offense gets the ball. And again, that could be, a constant thing throughout preseason, or they could, flex some of these guys' times based on, performance, or how they see their fit, or how they see, how they're already going to mock out the depth chart, and how much time they want to see these guys get. So,
or maybe one game Mitch starts like this upcoming Saturday. Maybe the second game Mason starts, or maybe the third game Pickett starts. Maybe he gives all three of them a chance for the first quarter.
That could be the case.
Maybe he gives them all three of them a chance to really see who's ready to be quarterback one come week one.
That could be the case. Or, again, it could just be Mitch, then Mason, then Kenny, all 3 games. So,
but regardless of, who starts, the amount of time that they have, they got to make the most of it.
Absolutely they do. But for the first time in a long time, for 2 decades, the quarterback position is going to be a must-watch.
Yes.
And that starts again this Saturday, man. It's Ain't Too Cool says, one surprise cut I can see is Justin Lane. Yeah. Where does he fit?
I mean, it's going to be hard for him to remain on the roster. Maybe even on the practice squad.
Levi Wallace, Akella Witherspoon, Cameron Sutton, Arthur Millette, Trey Norwood, James Pierre. I'll even toss in Chris Steele.
Where does Justin Lane fit? He's literally being beat out, outshined by undrafted rookies.
And this guy was a 3rd-round pick?
He was a 3rd-round pick. I don't know how. I really don't.
Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to go...
Justin Lane, I'm sorry, he's done nothing. The only thing that he's got is length at cornerback. That's it.
I'm going to look this up because I'm curious.
That's it. What are you looking up?
The draft class. See who we could have gotten outside of Justin Lane.
Man, I couldn't tell you.
Let me see. He was 3rd round, right?
Yes, 3rd round.
Where's he at?
I remember Brett Kiesel announced him as the pick.
Yeah. Let's see.
Shout out to the beard.
Yeah. Jamel Dean.
Wow.
Max Crosby. C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Wow.
That's all. Yeah, I can't keep harboring on the pass and shit like that.
No, I mean, for God's sake, almost every team misses out on a certain player, so it's whatever.
You're right.
And we made up for, missing out on Miles Jack.
Yeah, because we got him now.
Burns. We got him now, and I mean the guys we have at cornerback now: Levi Wallace, Akella Witherspoon, Cameron Sutton. We're looking decent there at cornerback.
Right.
For the first time in quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Probably since I would say Joe Hayden and Steven Nelson.
Pretty much. And I really like that duo.
Yeah.
Just saying they're only together for 2 years.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate, but, best of luck to Hayden, wherever he goes, because he's still unsigned. And where's Steven Nelson right now? Is he still with Philly, or did he sign somewhere else?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue.
Regardless, best of luck to them, for real.
Of course. Especially Joe Hayden. I wouldn't be surprised if, again, knock on wood, something happens with the cornerback room, and then he's the first guy we call up.
He very well could be the first guy we call up.
That's who I'm calling. God forbid there's an injury at corner. I hope not. But if there is, that's the first guy I'm calling. I'm like, hey, Joe, come back.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, I mean, he's obviously known to be a number 1, but he doesn't have to be a number 1.
No. Not at this stage of his career.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Not at this stage of his career. Cam Tyson and Larry is going to be fire. I can't wait to see these guys mix it up. Tyson Alualu is another name we got to watch for because Obviously, his injuries were a concern the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. He's now off the PUP list.
Yes, he is.
He is healthy. He's ready to go. Getting him back, and if he is back to normal, that is huge.
Yeah, because, man, is he a crucial part of that run defense? Oh, my God.
And I don't care how old he is. If you can ball, if you can play, you can play.
I mean, bro, he may be 35, but I'll tell you what, he gets a hold of you, you ain't getting away.
No.
He literally revived his career in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
It's crazy.
And another guy that could revive his career in Pittsburgh is, again, Miles Jack. Was another guy that's going to just add to this front seven and this run defense.
I mean, you said several times, Pittsburgh's the perfect place for second chances.
It absolutely is. I could be here all night talking about the certain guys that have gotten second chances and have just turned their careers into a resurgence. Hell, I'll actually start naming a few, because why the fuck not? Jerome Bettis, D'Angelo Williams, Tommy Maddox. Who else am I missing?
Joe Hayden.
Joe Hayden.
Joe Hayden was literally, he was fighting for his life in Cleveland. Comes to Pittsburgh, revives his career. Revives his career instantly. I would say the same for Tyson Alualu, even when he was a depth piece at the time. It's crazy.
You're absolutely right. Man, oh, man. That's why I'm excited for those two guys, because we're getting Tyson back, but we're getting a great linebacker, and I just want to see what he can do, man. And hopefully that rubs off on Bush. Hopefully all this rubs off
listen,
together.
you're gonna have a freaking linebackers coach like Brian Flores. You better be on your A game.
Of course.
Because he don't put up with bullshit.
No.
He don't put up with that.
No. And speaking of that, it'll be interesting to see what all the rookies are going to do, of course, because we got to talk about that a little bit. We mentioned Pickens and Austin III and Pickett, of course. But let's not forget the fellow rookies.
Yeah,
especially, I don't mean to cut you off, Connor Hayward.
Yes, of course.
What's he going to do? How is he going to be seen on the offense?
Again, in training camp, he's shown glimpses. He's catching almost everything his way. Well, almost everything. Yeah. He's actually a hard guy to take down. He's very shifty for a guy his size. When it comes to the tight end number 3 spot, that's wide open. I think he's a lock for that.
I think he's already got it.
Yeah.
I think he got 3 really good tight ends right there.
Yeah. Pat, Zach, and Connor. Boom.
I'm hyped to see what Connor Hayward can do, man. Because I think we all like Connor Hayward. We all cheer for Connor Hayward. We already got a great Hayward on the defense. That's going on the offense.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Don't forget about DeMarvin Leal for that defensive line, too.
Yep.
Like we mentioned how stacked it is. He's a guy that's really going to definitely try to get the most out of his opportunities.
And I'm hearing he's having a strong camp, according to a lot of reports. So if
and I've also seen that he's kind of thinned out a little bit. He's thinned out, but he's built some muscle from what I've seen recently.
Yeah, which he needed to do, obviously. He was a little skinny coming into the league, so all he needed to do was bulk up a little bit, and he's looking he's looking mean.
Yeah. He's looking real mean, and that's what I'm excited for. I'm really excited to see how DeMarvin Leal does for this defensive line, even as a rotational depth piece.
Yeah, of course.
For a rookie.
Because that's where he's going to see some time for sure. Get his feet wet. But outside of that, man, I mean, I'm excited for preseason. I'm excited for training camp. I'm excited for the Seahawks game.
I can't wait. Saturday, like I said, it needs to get here.
It does. And I guess to close this out, guys, one guy I'm excited to see as well is the preseason legend himself, Tuzar Skipper.
Bro, Edge is wide the hell open. Edge is wide the hell open.
Let's not forget what he did in 2019, man.
Oh, dude, I will never forget.
He had like 4 or 5 sacks in preseason.
Dude, every game he made a play. He shined.
I'm just saying, man.
Only for us to cut him in like 2 weeks.
I'm going to throw it out there. Could Tuzar Skipper come back to his old preseason self?
Dude, we need a dependable edge depth piece behind Watt and Highsmith. So I'm kind of hoping that Skipper does that, although I'm still not going to count out Derek Tuska and Jannard Avery, who we brought in.
Or even a Delani Scott.
Or even a Delani Scott, yeah. Which is crazy because he's wearing 50.
Yeah, that's going to be weird.
That's going to be really weird.
That's going to be weird.
Wow. But nonetheless, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to when it comes to the preseason.
A ton.
Not just Saturday, but the 2 other games.
Yep.
I can't wait.
But ladies and gentlemen, football is back, and thus Steelers football is back. I'm hyped because I've waited how many days for this? So long for this. I've waited time after time, months, weeks, days, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, decades, for fuck's sake, is what it felt like.
It's been a long, hot, exhausting, boring summer without any football. The USFL didn't even, relieve some of the missing, football aspect.
It didn't fill that hole.
No, it didn't.
It really didn't. But there's no worry. There's no more wait because this Saturday, man, Steelers football is back. If you don't know it's preseason, I don't care. It's Steelers football. And there's so many questions about this team heading into the regular season, heading into the season in general. Hopefully we get some of these questions answered. What's the quarterback position going to look like? How are these guys going to look? How's the receiving position going to look? How is the O-line going to look? How's the run defense going to look? How are all these new changes, all these new faces, what are they going to bring to the table for this team? How's Canada going to go? What is Flores going to bring to the linebacker spot? What's Terrell Austin going to do in his first year as DC?
Yes.
So many fucking questions.
It's truly a new era for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's going to be crazy to see exactly how this new era starts.
Right. And that starts this Saturday night, which, again, we will be live this Saturday night for the live reactions co-hosted by Code Steel, which, again, should be very entertaining. Shout out to him, man. That's going to be fun. I can't wait. Live reactions. We'll also do live reactions for the other 2 preseason games. And, of course, the regular season games when that comes around.
Yeah.
So we're going to watch it with you guys, man. And I'm hyped. I am so hyped, man. Like, I'm smiling ear to ear right now. That smile Pickett got, that's me. That is me. But not just the Steelers games we'll be live streaming this year. I want to run over the announcements again like we did at the start. The AFC North War Room is going to be a thing this year where when scheduling allows it, when it is fitting, we will be live streaming certain AFC North teams' games. And that starts next Sunday for week 2 of the preseason, where it's the Eagles at the Browns. So let's scout the Browns a little bit. Let's see what their quarterback position is going to look like. Watson's probably going to play that game, but I don't know how many games he's going to play in the regular season. So be it, right? Might as well get a little taste of what they're going to do at quarterback.
Or how Josh Dobbs does in a Browns uniform.
Right. And I believe that same day, the Ravens and the Bengals play. So one of those games we might also live stream later that day. So not just this game, but the Ravens or the Bengals game as well.
Yeah, that could be a true possibility as well.
The AFC North War Room is going to be a thing this year where when scheduling allows it, we're going to be live streaming certain AFC North teams' games. Some of them will actually be AFC North divisional matchups, where that's on Thursday night, Sunday night, whenever it's fitting, man. So that's going to be brought to the channel. And one thing that has finally been brought to the channel, which I want to announce one more time before we get on out of here on this Thursday night, is memberships are live, and you can now become a member of the SteelTwins Nation, a.k.a. the STN, for $1.99, where you get exclusive perks such as chat emotes, the channel badge, and access to members-only monthly live Q&As. Or you can become a member of STN Plus for $4.99, where you get the same perks as regular STN, but access to the Discord link and access to videos early, plus more to be added. Which mostly that will be emotes as we get some more out there, and once more members join, we can create more emotes for specific moments for games and for the season in general, which one of them includes the infamous run the ball, because it has to be.
I'll tell you what, Steelers better run that ball.
They
better run that ball. Come on, you drafted Najee, you better start running it.
They're gonna start running the ball.
Don't run the reels off of Najee, because we don't want that.
But that is the first emote that is available for channel members, but more will be coming, such as the terrible towel, touchdown, sack, interception, stuff like that. That will be added through the regular season. But feel free to join, man. SteelTwins Nation. Become a member of the STN today. And if you do, very much appreciate from you guys. Other than that, Snoop.
We got one more announcement. Hold on. One more announcement.
I'm blind, by the way. I don't know what's...
Jesus Christ, you're talking. You need a breather. You're talking like Excalibur over here.
Yeah.
SteelTwins Podcast. We will be officially announcing and launching the SteelTwins Podcast. Some of you guys have been wanting us to do it for quite some time now, and it's something that we have discussed and considered for a few years now, and we will officially be launching a podcast, the SteelTwins podcast, and episode 1 will be week 1, the Cincinnati Bengals week 1 preview.
Right, which will pretty much just be stuff like this where we talk about the game and preview it, but a little more added content, such as predictions or injury reports or news coming out of Tomlin's press conference and stuff like that. Additional stuff that you won't get on the channel here. That will be via the SteelTwins podcast. Again, episode 1 comes out week 1 of the NFL regular season, where we will be discussing the Bengals game and pretty much the entire week 1 regular season, which should be fun, man.
So there is all of that too. Stay tuned for the channel.
There's a lot coming, man. And for you guys that will be sticking around or that will be joining, very much appreciate it, and stick along for the ride, because I know it's very cliche, but we're just getting started here, bro. Just getting started here. Snoopy McQueen with a $3 super chat with a thumbs up. Give you guys a big thumbs up.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And Steeler Saiyan Jedi has become a member of STM Plus and immediately puts up that run the ball emote. I love to see it.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. And thank you guys that are going to be sticking with us. Words can't describe how much this means to us. It really does. We love all you guys, man. We all love Steeler Nation.
Did not think that we'd get this far when we started this channel whatsoever. But we're here, and we are just getting started.
Yeah.
So definitely stay tuned for everything.
AC Harsh says pair of tickets for Members Plus. Potentially. Because one thing we did, a perk we wanted to add for STM Plus members was access to giveaways every 4 months. But YouTube wouldn't allow that. They reviewed the perks. They wouldn't allow that.
Which is so freaking stupid.
So I think the way we're going to do it is via the Discord. Every 4 months or so, we'll come up with a giveaway, and all you guys in Discord will be entered to get that. So I think we'll come up with something like that and figure out a better way to kind of set that up for the more active guys, more active members, and the new members. So we'll figure all that out. We'll think of something, but I think that's going to be a thing for sure. Is giveaways, and those giveaways is always a mystery to you guys. So it could be anything from a signed jersey, it could be anything from just something from Steelers shop or anything, man. Anything that we could just find or we think is gonna be a great, giveaway for you guys.
Absolutely.
So that could be coming down the line for the Discord chat for sure. Steeler Nation 412 joins STN, man. We really, really much appreciate it. That's awesome, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Well, we're gonna call it a night, guys. It is 1:45. It is almost Friday. That's crazy, man.
Almost Friday.
It's almost Friday, but
we got one more day.
One more day.
One more day.
Fucking day, and then we can watch Steelers football. Other than that, guys, we're going to get on out of here. Thank you guys for joining us tonight on this late live stream, but talking about the Steelers preseason preview, and that's not just the Seahawks game. That's the entire preseason overall. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. You guys have a great rest of your night, great rest of your week. We got one more day, folks. One more day to get past us. 2 more sleeps. 1 more day, and then it's game day. Then we can officially say it's game day. Man,
I can't wait.
It's gonna feel good, man. It's gonna be awesome. You guys have a great rest of your night, man.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace.
AC Harsh says, I like y'all. Well, you know what? We like you too. Appreciate it, man.
You guys have a great night. Run the ball!